To know that your name is written in heaven is to live with a confidence that cannot be shaken by the winds of this world. It is to walk with the assurance that no storm, no darkness, no whisper of doubt can erase the truth of who you are. When you live with eternal confidence, you do not simply exist, you rise. You do not merely hope, you believe. You do not wait for approval from the world, for you already have divine affirmation. This is not the fleeting confidence built on human praise or worldly success. This is a confidence rooted in eternity, in the knowledge that your worth is written in the book of life, sealed by hands greater than any earthly power. I have seen people walk through life like ghosts of themselves, shrinking, doubting, second-guessing every step as though they are trespassers in their own story. I have seen faces heavy with burdens, eyes searching for a place to rest, souls crying out for a sign that they are known, that they are seen, that they belong. I have seen the world tell them they are not enough, not worthy, not chosen, and I have seen them believe it. But let me tell you something today. Your name is already written in heaven. You are already known, already loved, already counted among the eternal. But do you know it? Do you walk like you know it? Do you speak? Do you move? Do you breathe like someone whose name is written where no hand can erase it? Or do you let the world make you small? Let fear make you quiet? Let doubt make you question the truth that has been spoken over you? I am here to tell you that the moment you recognize where your name is written, the moment you understand the weight of it, the power of it, you will no longer live beneath the measure of your own life. People will tell you confidence is found in status, in beauty, in wealth, in applause. They will tell you to prove yourself, to build yourself, to brand yourself until you are somebody worth remembering. But let me tell you this. What the world builds, the world can tear down. What people give, people can take away. What is written by human hands can be erased by human doubt. But what is written in heaven, oh, that cannot be undone. That cannot be removed. That cannot be rewritten. Your name is not written in pencil, where mistakes can smudge it away. It is not written in sand, where the tide of circumstance can wash it clean. No, your name is written in eternity, carved into the very heart of the divine, where no storm, no failure, no human opinion can touch it. So why do you doubt? Why do you fear? Why do you let the weight of this world convince you that you are anything less than chosen, than called, than appointed for something greater than your own understanding? I see people chasing titles, chasing validation, chasing proof that they are worthy. But what they do not realize is that their name was called long before they ever stepped into this world. Their identity was established before their first breath. And once you know this, once you truly, deeply, unshakably know this, you walk differently. You move with a kind of grace that does not stumble, a kind of boldness that does not beg, a kind of confidence that does not waver when the world tries to tell you who you are not. They will call you too much. They will call you not enough. They will say you are too loud, too quiet, too bold, too timid, too this, too that. They will measure you against their own expectations and find you lacking. But when your name is written in heaven, their scales do not apply to you. Their opinions do not define you. Their acceptance does not determine your worth. You do not shrink for them. You do not wait for permission to be who you were called to be. You do not ask for approval to take up space in the story that was already written with you in mind. I have seen the way the world tries to break those who know their worth. It tries to silence them, diminish them, bury them under doubt and fear, because the world is afraid of those who walk with eternal confidence. The world is unsettled by those who do not bow to its demands, by those who do not need its validation. When you know your name is written in heaven, you become a threat to every system built on insecurity, every lie designed to keep people small. And so they will try to shake you. They will try to make you forget. But you must not forget. You must not forget that you are not just passing through this world like a visitor waiting to be let in. You belong. You are written into the fabric of eternity, and there is no force on this earth that can erase you. So stand tall, speak boldly, love fiercely, move with the kind of confidence that does not apologize for existing. Do not let fear convince you to dim your light. Do not let doubt keep you from stepping into the fullness of who you are. Do not let the temporary noise of this world make you forget the eternal truth of your being. Because when you know, when you truly, deeply, unshakably know, where your name is written, you do not just live, you rise. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine a world where you never second-guessed yourself. A world where you walked into every room like you belonged, where you spoke every word like it carried weight, where you moved through every challenge as if victory was not a question but a certainty. Imagine a world where you never felt the need to prove yourself, because you already knew that you were chosen, already knew that your worth was not up for debate. What would you do? How would you live? Who would you become? Now open your eyes, because that world is not just a dream, not just an idea wrapped in distant hope. That world is yours the moment you believe in what has already been written. Too many people live in the shadow of their own doubt, wearing chains that were never meant for them, carrying burdens that do not belong to them. They allow fear to speak louder than faith, insecurity to drown out truth, and the weight of the world to keep them from rising into their own greatness. But let me tell you something. The enemy of your soul is not after your money, not after your job, not after your reputation. The enemy of your soul is after your confidence. Because confidence is power. Confidence is freedom. Confidence is the key that unlocks doors others have closed in your face. If the world can convince you to doubt yourself, to question your worth, to live in hesitation instead of boldness, then it has already won. You were not formed in divine hands just to walk this earth, afraid of your own voice, afraid of your own light, afraid of stepping into the fullness of who you are. I have seen people break themselves just to fit into places never meant for them, shrinking, twisting, molding themselves into an image that the world finds acceptable, that society deems worthy. But the world's approval is a moving target, a fleeting illusion. What they love today, they discard tomorrow. What they celebrate in one season, they condemn in the next. And if you build your confidence on the fragile ground of human validation, you will spend your life chasing something that was never meant to be your foundation. But when you stand on what is eternal, when you root yourself in the truth that is unshakable, when you know deep in your spirit that your name is written where no hand can erase it, you stop seeking permission to be who you already are. Confidence is not arrogance. Confidence is not pride. Confidence is the unshakable knowing that you belong, that you are enough, that you were sent here for a reason greater than yourself. It is the refusal to let the world define you, the refusal to let fear silence you, the refusal to let failure make you question your destiny, because failure will come. Oh, it will come like a flood, like a fire, like a storm that tries to wash you away. But failure does not erase what is written in heaven. Mistakes do not undo your calling. Weak moments do not remove your name from the book of eternity. You are not here because you are perfect. You are here because you are chosen. And chosen does not mean flawless. Chosen does not mean you will never fall. Chosen means that no matter how many times you stumble, no matter how many times you break, no matter how many times life tries to crush you, the call on your life still stands. The name written in heaven still belongs to you. I have watched people let their past define them, let their pain rewrite their identity, let the voices of their failures become louder than the voice of their future. But what you have done is not who you are. Where you have been is not your final destination. The struggles you have faced, the battles you have lost, the wounds you have carried, none of these things change what is already written. You may have been broken, but you are still chosen. You may have walked through darkness, but your name is still written in light. You may have been rejected, abandoned, overlooked, but let me tell you something. Heaven has never overlooked you. Heaven has never forgotten you. Heaven has never doubted your worth. And if heaven has written your name, who can erase it? You do not need the world to recognize you when heaven already does. You do not need people to approve of you when you have already been called by something greater than human hands. You do not need to fit into places that were never meant for you when you have been set apart for something higher. So why do you hesitate? Why do you hold yourself back? Why do you let fear rob you of your own destiny? Fear is a liar. Fear will tell you that you are not enough, that you do not have what it takes, that you are too broken, too flawed, too far gone. But fear is afraid of who you are becoming. Fear is afraid of the day you wake up and realize that nothing it has whispered to you is true. Fear is terrified of the moment you step fully into your confidence, because that is the moment it loses its grip on you. You do not have to wait for the world to confirm what heaven has already declared. You do not have to wait for circumstances to align before you believe in yourself. You do not have to wait for every fear to disappear before you start walking in confidence. Walk in confidence now. Move in faith now. Speak with boldness now. Live like you know your name is written in heaven now. Because confidence is not something you find in the world. It is something you decide to claim. And once you claim it, once you own it, once you live in it, there is nothing in this world that can take it away from you. They will ask you how you do it. They will wonder where your strength comes from. They will question how you keep standing, how you keep believing, how you keep rising when life has tried to push you down. And you will tell them, with a fire in your spirit and a knowing in your soul, that your name is written where no storm can reach it, where no doubt can erase it, where no enemy can touch it. And that is why you walk like you do. That is why you refuse to settle, why you refuse to shrink, why you refuse to be anything less than everything you were created to be. There will be days when you doubt yourself, days when fear creeps in, when the voices of insecurity get loud, when the weight of the world feels too heavy to carry. But even in those moments, even in your weakest hour, the truth remains unchanged. Your name is still written. Your worth is still sealed. Your purpose is still set. And when you remember that, when you hold on to it with everything in you, you will rise again. You will find your strength again. You will step forward again, because nothing in this world can take away what is already written in heaven. And so you walk, not with the fragile confidence of someone seeking approval, but with the unshakable confidence of someone who already has it. You move, not with the hesitation of someone trying to prove themselves, but with the certainty of someone who knows they belong. You live, not with the fear of someone who is unsure of their place, but with the boldness of someone who knows that their name, their destiny, their purpose, their identity has already been decided by something far greater than this world. Now, go, stand tall, live fully, walk like you know who you are, because the world may try to tell you otherwise, but the truth remains. Your name is written in heaven, and there is no power, no doubt, no force in this world that can change that. There will come a moment when the world will try to convince you that you are ordinary, that you are just another name among billions. just another face in the crowd, just another life that will pass without consequence. And if you are not careful, you might believe it. You might look at yourself through their lens, through their smallness, through their fear, and you might shrink to fit their expectations. But let me tell you something. Your existence is not a mistake. Your presence is not an accident. You were not sent here to blend in, to be invisible, to live and die without ever stepping fully into the power of your own being. You are written in a book that does not fade. You are spoken into existence by a voice that does not lie. And you have been chosen for a purpose that is not tied to human recognition. Some of you have been waiting for people to see you, waiting for someone to acknowledge your worth, waiting for someone to affirm what you already know deep in your soul. But why do you wait for permission to be great? Why do you wait for someone to grant you access to what is already yours? You were never meant to sit on the sidelines of your own destiny. You were never meant to watch from a distance as life passed you by, as opportunities slipped through your fingers, as dreams faded into dust, because you were too afraid to believe in your own calling. When you know your name is written in heaven, you no longer wait for the world to tell you who you are. You no longer wait for circumstances to align before you take the first step. You no longer wait for fear to disappear before you step forward in faith. You move because you know you are already counted. You act because you know you are already known. You rise because you know you are already chosen. And no force in this world, not rejection, not failure, not fear, not doubt, can take away what has already been set in place before time began. There will be moments when you feel forgotten, moments when the weight of your journey feels unbearable, moments when you question everything you thought you knew about yourself. But even in those moments, even in the silence, even in the struggle, the truth remains. Your name is still written, your place is still secured, and even when you do not see it, even when you cannot see it, you are still walking in purpose. Some of you have mistaken the waiting season for the wasted season. You have believed the lie that because things are not moving at your pace, because doors have not opened in the way you imagined, because you have not seen the full picture yet, you must not be enough. But let me tell you something. Delay is not denial. Silence is not abandonment. And just because you cannot see the full plan does not mean the plan does not exist. You must stop measuring your worth by the standards of this world. You must stop letting the temporary define the eternal. You must stop allowing fleeting moments of struggle to shake the unshakable truth of your identity. You are not meant to live at the mercy of public opinion. You are not meant to build your confidence on things that can be taken away. The world will tell you that your value is determined by how much you achieve, how much you own, how many people approve of you. But none of these things make you who you are. None of these things write your name in eternity. None of these things determine the weight of your existence. Some of you have been afraid to step fully into your calling because you are worried about what people will think. You are afraid of being judged, afraid of being misunderstood, afraid of stepping beyond the boundaries that others have set for you. But listen to me. Greatness has never been comfortable. Purpose has never been convenient. And if you are waiting for everyone to understand you, to support you, to agree with your journey before you take the first step, you will never move. Not everyone will see what you see. Not everyone will believe in what you are building. Not everyone will understand the vision that was placed in you, and that is okay. You do not need their permission to walk in your calling. You do not need their approval to be who you were created to be. You do not need their validation to claim what is already yours. The most dangerous thing you can do in this life is to play small when you were made for something greater, to settle for less than what you were destined for, to dim your own light just so others feel comfortable in your presence. But you were not created to fit into places that cannot hold your greatness. You were not formed by divine hands just to live in fear of your own power. You were not meant to spend your life seeking permission to shine. When you know your name is written in heaven, you walk into every room like you belong there. You speak with the authority of someone who knows they are already chosen. You move through life with the boldness of someone who is not afraid to take up space. And yes, there will be challenges, there will be obstacles, there will be moments that test everything you believe about yourself. But trials do not define you. Struggles do not break you. Hardships do not diminish your worth. If anything, they prove it. Because if you were not destined for something greater, the road would be easy. If you were not carrying something powerful within you, there would be no resistance. But the fact that you have faced battles, the fact that you have walked through fire, the fact that you have had to fight for every inch of ground you have gained, that is proof that you are called. That is proof that you are chosen. That is proof that your name is written in a place where no enemy, no fear, no failure can touch it. So do not let the weight of this world convince you that you are anything less than extraordinary. Do not let fear keep you from stepping into the fullness of your own destiny. Do not let doubt rob you of the confidence that is already yours. Walk like you know you are chosen. Speak like you know you are called. Live like you know your name is written where no hand can erase it. Because the moment you fully embrace that truth, the moment you decide to live in that confidence, nothing in this world will be able to stop you. Some will tell you that confidence is dangerous, that it is arrogance, that it is too bold, too much. But what they really mean is that confidence makes them uncomfortable. Because when you walk in the fullness of your calling, you expose the places in others where they have settled for less. When you refuse to shrink, you remind them of the ways they have made themselves small. And some will not like that. Some will try to humble you, try to diminish you, try to make you feel guilty for embracing the truth of your own greatness. But do not apologize for knowing who you are. Do not apologize for walking in your power. Do not apologize for carrying yourself like someone whose name is written in eternity. Because when you do, when you fully step into your confidence, you do not just change your own life, you change the world around you. You become a force that cannot be ignored. You inspire others to rise. You break chains that have held people captive for generations. You shift atmospheres. You open doors that others thought were locked forever. You walk into spaces that people said were not meant for you, and you take your place without hesitation. And in doing so, you give others permission to do the same. This world is desperate for people who know who they are, people who are not afraid to stand tall, people who are not afraid to speak truth, people who are not afraid to walk in their calling. So be that person. Be the one who refuses to live in fear. Be the one who refuses to shrink. Be the one who steps boldly into the truth of their own greatness. Because your name is written in heaven. And when you live like you know it, when you move like you believe it, when you embrace it with every fiber of your being, there is nothing that can stand in your way. Some people go their whole lives searching for something to anchor them, something to give them worth, something to validate their existence. They chase titles, money, applause, and recognition, thinking that if they can just gain enough, achieve enough, become enough, they will finally feel secure. But security does not come from things that can be taken away. It does not come from the shifting sands of public opinion. It does not come from achievements that can be lost or from people whose loyalty wavers with the seasons. If you build your confidence on what the world gives you, then the world will also have the power to take it away. But if you root your confidence in something eternal, in something unshakable, in something that was decided before you ever took your first breath, then nothing can move you. The moment you accept that your name is written in heaven, you stop chasing validation from places that were never meant to sustain you. You stop seeking approval from people who do not even know their own worth. You stop measuring yourself by temporary things and start walking in the knowledge that your value was already set. You were chosen before you were ever acknowledged. You were called before you were ever applauded. You were worthy before anyone ever saw your greatness. And if heaven already calls you by name, what does it matter if the world does not? Too many people live in the fear of being overlooked, as if the absence of recognition means the absence of purpose. But let me tell you something. You do not need to be seen by everyone to be chosen by the right one. You do not need the crowd to validate what has already been decided in eternity. Some of the most powerful movements in history began in hidden places. Some of the greatest voices were once unheard. Some of the strongest warriors fought battles in silence before the world ever knew their names. But their worth was never determined by visibility. Their purpose was never dictated by applause. And neither is yours. There will be seasons where you feel unseen, seasons where your work, your effort, your growth goes unnoticed. And if you are not careful, you will mistake those seasons for insignificance. But what you must understand is that everything great is first built in the unseen. The roots of a mighty tree grow deep beneath the soil long before anyone ever sees its branches. A foundation is laid in the ground before a building ever touches the sky. Diamonds are formed in the dark before they ever shine in the light. Just because you are hidden does not mean you are forgotten. Just because you are growing in silence does not mean you are not being prepared for something greater. But this is where many give up. This is where many let doubt creep in, where they allow insecurity to rewrite their story, where they begin to believe that maybe they were never meant for anything more. They let frustration turn into discouragement, let waiting turn into questioning, let silence turn into defeat. But those who know their name is written in heaven do not let temporary seasons dictate eternal truth. They do not let the process shake their faith in the promise. They do not let delayed recognition convince them that they are anything less than destined for greatness. You must decide now that your confidence will not be shaken by circumstances. You must decide now that you will not let temporary struggles convince you of a lie. You must decide now that no matter how long the journey, no matter how great the challenge, no matter how silent the season, you will not forget who you are. Because when you truly know that your name is written where no force can erase it, you stop living like someone who is trying to prove themselves and start living like someone who already knows they belong. And when you do that, when you walk in that confidence, when you stand in that power, when you embrace that truth, you become unstoppable. Fear loses its grip on you. Doubt no longer has a voice in your mind. Insecurity cannot hold you captive because the things that used to make you question yourself no longer have power over you. The opinions of others do not shake you. The setbacks you face do not break you. The obstacles in your path do not stop you. You move with certainty, with authority, with a knowing that cannot be undone. People will ask how you do it, how you keep standing when life tries to knock you down, how you keep believing when the world tells you to give up, how you keep rising when everything around you says you should fall, and you will tell them that you do not stand on human strength. You do not build your confidence on things that fade. You do not walk in the fear of what may be lost, because what is truly yours can never be taken. Your name is written in a place where no failure can touch it, where no mistake can erase it, where no doubt can undo it. Some people live their whole lives afraid of losing what they have. They hold on to titles, positions, relationships, and opportunities with clenched fists terrified that if they let go, they will lose themselves. But what is meant for you will never require you to live in fear of losing it. What is truly yours will not need to be forced, manipulated, or desperately grasped. What has been written for you is secure, and when you truly believe that, you stop holding on to things that no longer serve you. You stop begging for doors to stay open that were meant to close. You stop fearing the end of one chapter because you know that the next one is already written. Confidence is not just about knowing who you are. It is about knowing whose you are. It is about understanding that your worth is not up for debate, that your value is not determined by this world, that your purpose is greater than any circumstance you will ever face. When you live in that truth, you stop waiting for life to give you permission to be bold. You stop hesitating. You stop second guessing. You start moving with the authority of someone who already knows they are called. And people will not always understand it. Some will call you reckless. Some will say you are too bold, too certain, too unwilling to compromise. But what they do not realize is that when you know your name is written in heaven, you do not need to live in hesitation. You do not need to walk in fear. You do not need to shrink yourself to make others comfortable. You have been set apart. You have been called to stand tall. You have been chosen to walk with a confidence that does not waver. There will be days when the weight of the journey feels heavy, days when the voices of doubt try to creep in, days when you wonder if you are truly meant for what has been placed before you. And in those moments, you must remind yourself of what is already true. You must speak to yourself with the authority of someone who knows they are chosen. You must reject the lies that try to convince you otherwise, because confidence is not just a feeling. It is a decision to believe what has already been spoken, a decision to walk in what has already been written, a decision to never let fear, doubt, or insecurity take from you what is already yours. And when you make that decision, when you claim that confidence, when you embrace that truth, when you step fully into the power of who you are, there is nothing that can stop you. There is no door that can remain closed to you. There is no obstacle that can keep you from your destiny, because you are not walking in borrowed authority. You are not moving in temporary confidence. You are standing in the certainty of something that was decided before time began. So walk with your head high, move with boldness, speak with conviction, live with the unshakable confidence of someone who knows their name is written in heaven. And when the world tries to make you forget, when fear tries to shake you, when doubt tries to creep in, remind yourself of this one thing: what is written in heaven cannot be undone. What has been decided in eternity cannot be changed. And when you truly believe that, you will never live another day in hesitation again. You have walked through fire, stood in storms, faced battles that should have broken you, and yet here you are, still standing, still rising, still moving forward. Not because life has been easy, not because the road has been smooth, but because your name is written where no force can erase it. You are not here by accident. You are not wandering without purpose. You are chosen, called, and counted. So walk like you know it. Speak like you believe it. Live like nothing can stop you, because nothing can. Fear will try to shake you. Doubt will try to silence you, but they hold no power over what is already decided. You were never meant to live small. You were never meant to shrink. Step fully into your confidence. Stand boldly in your truth, and never forget you were made for more. Now go and live like it.